Hey man, this workout, this could be big. This could be big for the Colts, man. Especially for Sam Ehlinger fans, the guys that want him to start over Carson Wentz. This is definitely good news to hear coming out of the sources for the Colts, man. For the future of the Colts, preseason wise, I am definitely even more locked in to seeing how he's going to perform in the preseason. Now that I know that he's working out with future Hall of Famer Patrick Mahommes. Now, definitely, I say future Hall of Famer right now because he's already breaking records, being phenomenal on the field, and he has a Super Bowl already. So he's definitely automatically qualified in my book to make the Hall of Fame, hands down. Now, of course, most people will be like, "Well, that's too early." He definitely deserves. He definitely deserves it. He deserves to be in the talks already because he's doing some crazy things, and he hasn't even been in the league for more than 5 years. But this dude is definitely a legend already in this era of football. So Sam Ehlinger, learning from him right now is definitely a good sight to see, man. These two have been working out in the offseason. Hopefully, Patrick Mahomes can teach Sam a few things. Of course, it's not going to all pan out into it as early as it's supposed to be for Sam Ehlinger, but him, teaching him is definitely the wave for the backup quarterback spot for the Colts. Now, what is this live with Jacob Eason? We don't know, but we know he has the arm strength and the height to be a very good backup in any organization. But we know Sam Ehlinger can be the dual threat that we are looking for as a backup. He's mobile. He can do just about anything that Carson Wentz can do as well. I think he's more talented than Jacob Eason, in my opinion. But, that is your decision to make. You're not supposed to agree with me at all. I really don't care. But I think, like I said before in the video, I think Sam Ehlinger will be a better backup than Jacob Eason for the Colts. And I'm not just saying this because he's working out with Mahomes. I said this before in the previous videos. You guys can check it out. But I do think both of them could be future starters in the NFL. That's no knock on either or. I definitely think so. But I think when it comes to our scheme and what we want, I think Sam Ehlinger will be a better backup than Jacob Eason. Unfortunately, I don't know where this relies with Jacob Eason. I don't know where this is going to end up with. But I do think Sam will be better in our system as well. I think Jacob Eason can fit better elsewhere. And I even think he could start on the Colts as well. But I think if I had to choose one, I would choose Sam. Now, where this pertains to Carson Wentz situation. Now, we know Carson Wentz had a few backup quarterback controversies in Philly. And, the backup went out and did their thing and actually outperformed Carson when they were on the field. Now, when you look at Sam Ehlinger, him working out with Patrick Mahomes, can this be the same issue? I don't think so. I do have faith in Carson Wentz. I think he'll be a really good starter for the Colts. Now, when his number is called for Sam Ehlinger, if his number is called and he does see the field, I think he can perform. So I think this is a good spot for the Colts to have a starter and a backup. Both can be potentially good for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, another thing that comes in line is the offensive line. The offensive line is another thing you have to worry about going into next season. We're starting with Sam Tevi. Eric Fisher's not going to be fully healthy, maybe until like week 6 or 7. So we got a lot of fighting to do until he gets on the field. I think we'll do predominantly good. I don't think we'll be undefeated, but I think we can do it good enough for him for the offensive line. I think the Carson Wentz or Sam Ehlinger or Jake Eason, whoever's playing at that time, I think until Eric Fisher sees the field, I think we'll have a positive record. I think we can get at least maybe four wins until they return. I think until Eric Fisher returns, I think we can get 4 wins out of the schedule. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough beginning of the year, but I think Carson Wentz's performance will really do us justice. I think he can carry us over until the full protection gets there, and that means Eric Fisher. I think Sam Tevi would do a pretty decent job holding his own until Fisher gets there because he knows what's at stake here. He knows his number is called. It is next man up, and I think if Tevi does good enough until Eric Fisher returns, that can go a long way for him. Everyone's trying to play for the same goal, and that's to reach the Super Bowl. But you got to have your own personal agendas as well. Sam Tevi knows if he goes out here and performs before Eric Fisher returns, if he can hold up that left side with Quentin Nelson and protect Carson Wentz, that can go a long way into the future. Any other team can look at Sam Tevi if he's available in the offseason, or if we want to do something with him, they'll be like, okay, Sam Tevi did a pretty decent job holding his own until Eric Fisher returned. And then if Eric Fisher comes back and he's not fully healthy and Sam Tevi's back out there and he does what he has to, I mean, this can go a long way. This is so many storylines for the Colts going into next season. Can Eric Fisher stay healthy? Can he be anything of his old self? Same thing goes for Carson Wentz. Can he be anything of his MVP form when he goes into next season? Sam Ehlinger or Jacob Eason, can they step up and lead the way? The storyline for the Colts, can Marlon Mack, can he bounce back? Can Jonathan Taylor reemerge and, show like what he did at the end of the season? Can he bounce back? Can Rock Ya-Sin, can he go out there and perform and, be disciplined? Can Michael Pittman Jr. lead the fort? Can T.Y. Hilton reemerge as his old self and be the Pro Bowling version of himself? Can Mo Ali Cox, can he take over the number one role? Maybe Colin Granton could be the bright star in the offense, But, it's so many speculations with the Colts going into next season because no one knows what they're really going to bring. But you can say that for any team in the AFC South, if we're being honest. But Sam Ehlinger working out with Mahommes is a good deed. But back to the AFC South, the question is up. No one knows who's going to be the true division winner. If you had to look, of course, most people might think Julio and Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown and Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans is going to win the AFC South, but no one really knows that for sure. You look at Jacksonville Jaguars, they can creep up on any team in the AFC South and they can take over. You look at the Colts, they can do the same thing. There's 3 teams that can really turn over the season and make the playoffs. It's kind of tricky. It's a tricky situation, and we don't really know until the season starts. Now, we all know the Houston Texans aren't going anywhere next year. They're rebuilding. They're still trying to work on a few things. They have talent, but they're not as talented as the other 3 teams in the AFC South. But when you look at the Colts, I think we're in a comfortable spot. Now, of course, we're going to be contending for years to come. No one's really expecting the Super Bowl this year, but a Cinderella story would be nice for Indianapolis, just saying. But, no one's really expecting us to go out there and win a Super Bowl. They just want us to go out there and play. Simple as that. I think a winning season will do us just fine. Us having a losing season would be a disaster if we had a losing season, just being honest. But we still have a bright spot, man. We have a bright spot, still have a few holes to fill, but I think this year will be a proven year. We have enough talent to make the Super Bowl and to contend at least. We have enough talent to do so. We don't have to have the best roster on the field. I think our roster is good enough to do that. To be honest, I think our roster is good enough. Carson Wentz is good enough. Even if we had to go through our backup, I think Sam Ehlinger is good enough. The fact that he's working out with Mahommes surprised me. But you guys let me know your whole thoughts on the Colts roster. Let me know your thoughts about Sam Ehlinger working out with Patrick Mahommes. Shocked me. Do you think Sam Ehlinger has what it takes to be a good backup or to start on the NFL team at any time soon? But you guys let me know your whole thoughts on this situation. This is Marcus, and until next time, you've been Culture Shock.